Hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. What is up? Jonathan Snow, AGK Mark. Hello from the US, James. Good to see ya. Lucid, Electric Fats, James, again, 15-minute player. Wounded Satellite, Shadow Monk. How is everyone today? It is finally happening after almost 400 packs, probably 400 packs. I finally got the wild cards to get Velomachus, so it's Velomachus day. We are Velomachusing in Historic, maybe in Standard too. We got a few different lists, all built around the new Elder Dragon, and this is gonna be sweet. I'm pretty excited because I've been getting so many lists for Velomachus. I feel like that might be the single card from Strixhaven that I've got the most viewer submitted brews around, but we haven't had a chance to play it yet because we are really bad at opening them somehow. So it is time finally for Velomachus. Hey, what's up, Top Hat? Good to see ya. Adrian, good to see ya. Yeah, the afternoon streams, doing more of them, I think has been good for European viewers for sure. So I'm glad it's working out. Hey, what's up, Arias? How are you? Jesse Doyle, welcome to the Fishbowl. 1 year resub. That is absurd. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. So yeah, we have some mystical archives. We got some Velomachuses. I'm pretty hyped. We got 3 different lists we're gonna check out today, at least, and then we might do some standard Velomachusing too. I don't know about this one. I think we might actually play a little bit of best of one just so we can Dragon's Approach and see what happens. So it should be a interesting day of Magic. So Arena knows what cards you want and withholds them. It seems like it sometimes. I feel like this might be a conspiracy theory. This probably is a conspiracy theory. It definitely is a conspiracy theory. But just look at this real quick. Look at my mythics. Let's do a little mythic check. It's been a minute. If you look at this, it seems like the mythics that I have completed or gotten many of are maybe the least exciting ones, like Shadrach Silver Quills, Blot Out the Sky, 3 Ecological Appreciations, bunch of Harnessy Infinities, bunch of Kesminas. So many of the kind of not that exciting mythics, I had 0 Velomachuses until I got to wildcard them. And I've opened like 1 Professor Onyx, a sweet mythic. I've opened 1 Rowan. So I don't know. Do you think that the good mythics are more rare than the normal mythics? That's obviously like super tinfoil hatty, and I'm sure it's actually not true, but sometimes it feels like that. Correct, 4 boxes, 3 set boosters, 1 collector booster, 0 Shadrach, 2 of each other dragon. That's a little bit awkward, but yeah, so we're gonna have some fun today, spinning into Time Warps and Mizzix Masteries and friends with Velomachus. So let's do our reminders. Let's start talking about Velomachus and these decks, jump into some games, and see if Velomachus, was it worth it? Was it worth opening 400 packs to get? We're gonna find out. So right by YouTube, that's where you can find the old stream, including this one in the future, normal YouTube. We did some sweet mage crafting for Budget Magic yesterday in Standard. Tomorrow, it is Strixhaven Stadium time for Against the Odds. Do you think Strixhaven Stadium's gonna work? What do you think the odds are? When I knew Strixhaven Stadium won the poll, I was like, oh no, is this gonna be a disaster? Is there any way it can actually work in Standard? And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with where it ended up. So that's coming up on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, maybe from Strixhaven, maybe from Commander 2021, maybe from other sets, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. They'll hook you up. They're pretty awesome like that. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Otherwise, merch page has tokens, t-shirts, playmats, good way to support the stream and the channel and the site and help clean out Richard's garage. And donations always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. Isn't Wizards legally obligated to post their drop rates for packs somewhere? You would think. I thought that they were, until we started doing the expected value calculation for Strixhaven and realized that a lot of information is just, it's not available. Like, it's not out there, and there's no way to know. So I think that some countries have laws about loot boxes, and Wizards has to publish some stuff about Arena in certain companies. But I believe that, like, Paper Magic I think they can do whatever they want. I feel like it's very strange, but paper Magic, along with like sports cards and along with like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards, has kind of gotten like grandfathered in to a lot of laws, so it doesn't apply to them. It's not gambling officially by the books, even though I mean, it really is. Like, it is very much gambling. To how, the way people interact with it is very much gambling. So I feel like they've just, like, I don't know, kind of skirted through a lot of that stuff because they've been around for so long. Kid Kuzi, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And they do kind of have, like, an arena odds page. I don't know if I can find it right now. The arena odds page, though, it's kind of, like, even when they do publish it, it's so kind of scattered and in-depth that it's actually very difficult to make sense out of it, I think, as a casual player. Like, arena drop rates. Let me see if I can actually even find this page. Okay. I think this might be it. So, like, if you look at this page, like, okay, so what I believe happened is this was not originally published, if I'm remembering this right, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this was not originally published, and someone pointed out that in certain countries, you actually have to have the information published legally. So Wizards put up this page, and some of it, like, kind of makes sense. Okay, this is what you get in a pack, this can upgrade, but then you start getting, like, just so much information that's listed out here that it's not really all that easy for people to just like absorb and understand for the most part. So I'm sure that the answer to most of your arena questions are somewhere in this page, from Godzilla card styles to everything else. But whether or not you actually are going to take the time and the effort to go through this and find a way to use it, that is definitely up for debate. So, and I wish they did this for paper. Like, I wish we had this information for paper, but it doesn't exist for paper for a lot of it. So, we have a new donation from Streamlabs. Where's I heard the donation. Wait. Streamlabs. And then we will play Magic, I promise. We will talk about this deck from Adrian DePlace, $10 donation. I told you on Twitter back in January that I'd send you $10 if the Bucks win it all. I had 100 on them winning the Super Bowl for 1,700. Ooh, amazing. I often listen to you when I'm at home at work to do my workout, so thanks to everything you do for all of us. Well, thank you so much, Adrian. And yeah, somehow the Bucks did pull it off. Thank you for the donation. So what are we doing today? What is our deck number one? We are starting with Velomachus combo, I would call this. So what are we trying to do with this deck? We are trying to get Velomachus on the battlefield. Of course, Velomachus, tons of mana. It costs 7 mana. We can't just cast it. That's a little bit too slow. So the idea of this deck is we're trying to take and use Magma Opus to make a treasure token, or Prismari Command to make a treasure token. Then we can use Indomitable Creativity to blow up the treasure to get Velomachus, and then once we get Velomachus, we're hoping that Velomachus just straight up wins us the game. If we get Velomachus, the idea is we can attack and hit a Time Warp, which lets us attack again, and then we can attack and we can either hit another Time Warp or Mystic's Mastery to cast the Time Warp from our graveyard, and then we attack again. If we can do that 4 times, we just win the game on the spot. So that is essentially the deck. Otherwise, we got like Brainstorm to find our pieces, Memory Lapse to slow our opponent down, but essentially Velomachus Indomitable Creativity combo, I would consider it. Sideboard removal counters, pretty typical stuff. Some anti-counter spell tech with Commensa Endgame Chandra. So that's Velomachus deck number 1. We also have Velomachus Reanimator on our list, which I wonder, which one do you think is better? I kind of wonder how practical Indomitable Creativity is. Bellicron, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. This one is kind of similar, except our goal is to reanimate Velomachus with the help of Unburial Rites. We got Faithless Looting, Thrilling Discovery to fill our graveyard, Prismari Command to fill our graveyard, reanimate it with Unburial Rites, then kind of do the same thing. No Mystic's Mastery, but we still got the Time Warp synergies. And then, if we're feeling really risky, we can go super, super deep. With the jankiest of the builds, this is Dragon's Approach Velomachus. I've seen people messing around with this deck in Standard. In Standard, I am not sure how good it will be or how much it'll work. In Historic, we get looting and we get Cathartic Reunion and we get Thrilling Discovery. Hopefully discard Dragon Approaches. Then we cast one and then we get Velomachus and then we get Time Warps and Mizzix Masteries and hopefully win the game that way. So yes, all Velomachus all the time, at least for the first part of the stream. I've thought about building Velomachus EDH. Seems like bad Neheb Narset. Yeah, it is very much like Boros Narset, I think. That is what I would consider it. Kind of like weird bad version of Narset, although it is a sweet commander. Errors Gamer, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 3rd month. Oh, enjoy your work. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. I'm up to 11 Dragon Approaches to trade to my boss, trying to build Dragon Approach decking commander. They're really expensive for commons. How many Dragon's Approaches do you need to build a commander deck? Ooh, Treasure. Indomitable Creativity. This looks like a pretty fast Velomachus, if nothing goes horribly wrong. I think this could work. Well, Triumph, go. Is this turn 4? Hopefully Velomachus. Counters. Well, tap land, go. All right, no counters. Hey, what's up, Guanji? We are Velomachusing, finally. Got back from getting cavities filled. Did I miss anything? We have just started, so no, you haven't. Cavities are not a whole lot of fun. I don't play on land. So we need our opponent to tap out. That's it. We just want our opponent to tap out. If they tap out, there's a reasonable chance we just win the game. So I think that's what we're just waiting for. We're just waiting for them to... Okay, Prismari Command. This is our chance. Okay. So Prismari Command. Do we loot? I don't want to draw into a Time Warp. Alright, Prismari Command. Treasure for sure. And... yeah, I guess we loot. Alright. Discard a land and a... land? Well, let's see how good Velomachus really is. We get the treasure. Alright. 4 time walks in a row, please. Come on. Traditional. We draw Brainstorm, not super good against Narset. Well, what is super good against Narset is we get to play Dwarven Mind. Make a token. 1, 2, 3, 4. Creativity. Oh, watch us fizzle. Blow up the token. Velomachus enters the battlefield. Well, oh, come on, deck. You can do it. Okay, Time Warp. We will take the extra turn. Oh, opponent scoops it up. Yes. Okay. Maybe this deck's actually good. Off to a good start with Velomachus. It might be worth the 400 packs it took to get here. Well, opponent's trying to play the control game. We'll bring in Mystical Dispute Negate. Chandra, maybe? Brainstorm is pretty brutal against counter spells, but I don't know how much we can cut, really. Opus is kind of cute, too. We can also just Opus Mizzix Mastery, which is sweet. That was worth it. The most expensive Time Warp in the history of Magic. Your voice doesn't match your face. I have heard that before. That's a thing that people have said. Okay, so how should okay, give me a character, someone I would know. If you heard my voice, what face would you expect? what face would you be? Tomer? Okay, okay. Bender, like Bender from Future. Oh no, I don't take any offense to it. Bender from Crib's face. Huh. So like all of our faces should just be reversed, essentially. We just all have the wrong faces. Yoda Man for the 36. Oh, we got a sideboard for the 36th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So, is it right to cut brainstorms? I feel like our brainstorms get 27 seconds. Oh boy. We'll go down. Shark Typhoon, Brainstorm. Probably a horrible idea. Let's try it like that. Seth Rogen. I do like Seth Rogen. Wyatt Russell. I don't know who Wyatt Russell is. And Silverdome. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this deck, we are trying to Indomitable Creativity into Velomachus. And then spin extra turd spells in Mizzix's Masteries until we win. We're going to keep this, although we really have to hit land. Really, really, really. Fabled Passage. Mizzix's Mastery. The peaks and valleys of Voice sometimes remind me of Jiminy Glick. I don't know who Jiminy Glick is. What days of the week do you play Modern? I used to love when you play meta decks in the OG days. So Average Boss, I guess... Oh, hey, here's a good question, actually. Should we play... Oh, no. We're a long way away from doing anything if we don't hit lands. Should we play more Modern on stream? Should we be doing more Modern? Scott Farkas and Fat Orzov Cat, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my plan has been, and I mentioned this before, is I do a lot of Modern on YouTube and then a lot of arena formats on stream because it seems like that's what. Oh, this is a nightmare. But, yeah, so that's what I've been doing because it seems like that's what's most popular. Opponent, that deserves a mute. Actually, you can, oh my god, alright. Game 2. Yep. Yeah. Well, I guess we should get mulliganing. I mean, Modern is amazing. I feel like we still play a lot of Modern. We just mostly play it on the YouTube rather than stream, but we can definitely do more on stream. Maybe we gotta keep the brainstorms, even though Narset's insane against them. Prismari Command. Wow, so many subs today. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Arson and Atomic Coco, first time subs. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm surprised there's not an auto mute button where you just can auto mute everyone forever, but apparently not. Cedric, 1 year resub. I can't believe it's been a year either. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. So this hand's actually really good. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, unless we get Thought Seized, which is possible, we have Treasure, Indomitable Creativity, Velomachus, maybe win? I'm trying to build Salt, Ice, Snow in Modern, but Fetches, Force Negation, even Thoughtseize are pretty expensive. Yeah, Modern is not a cheap format. That is for sure. Whoo, and here comes the gift subs. Acidic Estrio, handing out gift subs to Skinny, Moldy Kazan, Kaduman, Magic Lick, and Space Cadet. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. I mean, you gotta take, creativity. Well, play the land past the turn. That's kind of annoying, opponent. Do you think Magic would be a better game if you were not allowed to mulligan? What if we went back to the old original mulligan rule? Where you can only mulligan if you have... Ooh, that's actually not bad, though. You can only mulligan if you have 0 lands or 7 lands. Would that improve Magic? Proliferate your Witcher. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Come on, play that Narset and die. Alright, opponent chooses not to die. Well, we'll keep making treasures. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I don't think it would actually improve magic, but yeah. Well, can we find a way to resolve our things? Wow, Field of Ruin? Kobo! Handing out the gift sub to Funky Lizard. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, alright, opponent. Be a little greedy. Cast a Planeswalker or something. Lose to Velomachus. Alright. We will keep passing. Awkward. Have you ever had to ban or time out anyone in chat? Your chat always seems extremely untoxic. It's happened a few times, but the chat is extremely untoxic. I think people, I don't know. My theory is that, and I'm sure this doesn't apply to everything, but my thinking is that, my thinking is that the streamer kind of controls the chat for the most part. And the attitude that you have and the behaviors that you model are going to determine how your chat acts. So yeah, that's basically my missing land drops for days is not great. I guess we memory lapse because opponent's just so far ahead on mana. I wonder if this deck could be Grixis. I wonder if it could be Grixis to have Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is a good way at forcing through combos. Well, pass the turn. 3 lands, 15 cards. That's not a lot. It can always be Grixis. But there's been a handful of times when someone has come in essentially just straight up trolling. I can't think of any times we've had to actually, like, ban someone from the community that is actually, like, active in the chat. I think the only times I can think of having to ban people are, they're either my little 8-year-old nephew, or, hey, what's up, Dimos? No, everything's good. Someone just asked if we ever had to, ban anyone. Or someone who just, like, actively comes in to troll. My little 8-year-old nephew did get timed out. He was being very persistent, and no one knew who he was, so he ended up getting timed out. Which actually kind of cracks me up. About it. Well, we'll grab an island. Yeah, this seems like the opposite of the kind of matchup we want to play. I feel like decks that are hard control decks that are just playing a ton of counters and discard, like Crim decks, they gotta be the worst matchup for what we're trying to do. We got to do Velomachus things in game 1. Sadly, we were playing, like I said, the worst possible matchup for our deck. Our deck's really good at doing its thing, I think, or reasonably good, but it is not good at doing that thing through an opponent who's just holding infinite counter spells. And we're really bad at drawing lands somehow. Well, we will pass the turn. Oh, and this is going to flip. Oh, it's getting worse by the second. Yeah, we can't even really negate at the moment because we'd have to sack one. Oh, come on now. We'd have to sack one treasure. We'd have to sack one treasure for Indomitable creativity, then another one for creativity. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. And our opponent's just leaving up enough mana that they should be able to interact multiple times. Yeah, this is just not happening. Not happening. Prismari command, a loot, make a treasure. Opponent. Ugh. And we've drawn every Time Warp, so even if we get a Velomachus, we only have one Time Warp left in our deck. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they just have this one, unfortunately. Well, boom. How do you like that opponent? I'm sure there's a counter or a removal spell. Opponent, yeah. Alright, on to the next one. So yeah, that's just not a matchup that is really practical to win. I missed a Twitter call for Lorehold decks. This one I've been thinking about for Lorehold. Man, the green screen's looking pretty sketchy at the moment. Why is the green screen so sketchy? Alright, different matchup, please. Yeah, I guess maybe we should have just given up on the combo and tried to play Chandra. I wasn't feeling like Chandra would be likely to work, but maybe we should have just slammed it. And I mean, I guess Velomachus was also not likely to work. Well, I mean, work is in actually be able to win us the game. We probably could have resolved it temporarily, but it would have cost us... Oh no, not again. But it would have cost us all of our treasures. And then we're just kind of doing nothing forever. So, but I guess we probably should have just played it and saw what happened. Yeah, Demir has a ton of answers. Well, play the land pass the turn. This deck also probably has a lot of counters. Hopefully not as much as the last deck, but... Yeah, I mean, we could have killed the shark, but... Yeah, we have a lot of cards that are good if they resolve, but there are also a lot of cards that are like 4, 5, 6 mana that are really bad against counter spells. I mean, I think that's basically it. Like, our deck really needs our opponents to not be playing Drago Control. I think Drago Control... Some of the other builds are probably better against Drago Control. Yeah, the green screen's a little wonky at the moment for some reason. Opponent's going to cultivate. Well, let's see if we can hit it. Loot. Treasure. Ugh, no creativity. What are we discarding? So we have multiple counters, which is good. Who coined Drago? Did you listen to yesterday's MTG Goldfish podcast? If you did, you would actually know... You would know the answer to that question. It's actually Andrew Cudio, who, did y'all listen to yesterday's podcast, by the way? You really should. The podcast, I don't tend to, like, tell people they should listen to it super often, but yesterday's one that I would say, like, if you don't listen to the podcast, you should listen to that one, because Cuneo had some really, really good, interesting thoughts. And if you want to understand what's going on with organized play and get an insider perspective, Cuneo had just an amazing perspective. Now, play the land. Pass the turn. Another Prismari command. Think we should have guests more often? Maybe we should do like one guest cast a month or something. Or maybe it's a bonus episode. Maybe we just do extra episodes with guests. And Cuneo had also views on what perspective was pros outside of the MPL. Yeah, Cuneo had a lot of interesting perspectives. Well, let's memory lapse that. Brainstorm. Oh, that's creativity. That's a creativity. We will put back 2 memory lapses. Well, here we go. Here we go. Put you back, put you back. Sure, sure, sure. Untap. I think it's dragon time. Creativity. X1. Sack the treasure. Velomachus. Swigs. Time warp. Good enough. Give us that extra turn. Untap. Is it worth brainstorming? We can brainstorm to try to set it up, and then Velomachus gets stuff out of the way. Ugh. Alright, put this back, put this back. Land, shuffle, legacy brainstorm. So, dear Watsy, hire Seth to be quality control so dumb stuff like Voraclex isn't printed. I actually love Voraclex. So if your goal is to keep Voraclex from getting printed, I don't know if I'd be... Seriously? Alright. Well. That's what you call a dragon whiff. Oh! Well, good thing we have another one of these. Another Velomachus. Swig. We can't do that. Oh! 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 Velomachus! Oh! Velomachus, why? Oh no! Oh no, oh no! 2 whiffs in a row! We are not making this look easy. Well, good thing is we have a 3rd memory lapse in a row. Oh, gotcha! Buckarox! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for our news. Hey, look at the time warp. We finally did it. I don't know if I should be salty that we whiffed with 2 Velomachuses in a row, or I should be happy that we absolutely owned our opponent with memory lapses. They didn't have a land, and they kept trying to play the same Binding of the Old Gods. Well, I mean, we have Time Warp and Mizzix Mastery. So we have 8 hits. If you look at the math, what are the odds? We should actually, this is the non-salty use of the hypergeometric calculator. So what are our odds? Let's assume they're all in our deck. We can actually math this out real quick. So we have a 60 card deck. I know it'll be a little bit smaller than that. We have 8 successes, quote unquote, in our population. We get to hit 7 cards. What are odds of hitting one of them with a Velomachus swig? 65% of the time. So, not 100% for sure, but more than 50-50. So, not obscenely unlucky, but not ideal either to do the double whiff. Titan's Nest is a cool card. Unfortunately, it is really miserable on Arena. Really, really, really miserable. The problem on Arena is... I guess we just bring in a couple counters. The problem on Arena is that it's super easy to time out. The way it's programmed. We can't take out memory lapse after how that one went. And we'll get on one more Shark Typhoon. We're all in on Velomachus. I probably am the person that drives the most views to Stat Trek. I should ask them for a sponsorship. Does anyone know what companies make hypergeometric calculators? I could use a hypergeometric sponsorship. Landgo. Hey, so they want to say, I love your Strixhaven price article. As a brewer myself, and also not having a strong preference for constructed, I totally agree with the points there. Well, thank you. Yeah, the prices on Arena are pretty rough for Strixhaven for sure, so thank you, Frogler. I'm new to Magic, and I haven't ever seen a paper Magic tournament. How does timeout work there? So in Paper Magic, it's a little bit different. There is typically a clock for the entire round. Lands for days. Well, I guess we put back basic since we have infinite fabled passages. Crag fabled passage. Get a basic. Brainstorm's quite the card. That was a bad brainstorm, but so in Paper Magic tournaments, there's a 50-minute clock for the round, and both players share the clock essentially. And there are judges who, if you're playing too slow, can tell you to pick up the pace, or even give you a warning, or if you keep not listening, even like disqualify you. So yeah, it's very different than how digital works. Although, in defense of digital, I'm not really sure there's any other way to do it in digital. Like, put back 2 lands. Like, you really need to have a clock to make the game ends. If anything, Paper Magic would probably, I think, be better with a chess clock. I think the problem is Wizards don't like spend money on things very much, and I have a hard time imagining that Wizards would want to buy, like, I don't know. We've had GPs that had, what, 4,000 people? They're not common, but do you think Wizards would actually spend on buying 2,000 chess clocks or something? Priority with a chess clock, I guess that would be another complicating factor, is how priority would work. Because in theory, like, you could be using the time even on your opponent's turn. So yeah, I guess that is a good point. Well, crack this. Give Alkid. We have, like, no defense this hand somehow. And our opponent, they know our hand. They know what's up. In theory, in 2 turns, we can creativity, but get a mountain. Counterspell would be decent. Mystic's Mastery. Well, tap lad, go. We'll see, we will see. Well, we need something to blow up for the creativity. And Dwarven Mine, we need 3 mountains, so this has to be our 4th mountain. So we just don't have a creature or artifact to sacrifice. Opponent gonna hit us. This turn we can make the Dwarven Mine token. Oh my god. I think it took me like 400 packs. Well, we have enough mountains now that we played the Steam Vents. But we played Steam Vents last turn. So we were, because of the island, we basically need one more turn. I'll get the Magma Opus. I'm honestly not sure that we go for it, though. I feel like the odds of it working out are very small here. No, you need 3 other mountains. You need 3 more other mountains. So we need 3, and then Dwarven Mine would be the 4th. Maybe we just time more? Well, Dwarven Mine. Opponent Valkying into Velomachus is actually kind of scary. I think we're going to wait and see if we can find, like, Mystical Dispute or Negate. It would be ideal. Yeah, I think we wait one more turn. Opponent. Alrund's Epiphany. Annoying. Combat. Passes. Opponent. Would Counterspell be too strong in Historic? Spells like Censor, Quench have the same effect early game. I actually don't think it would be too strong. I think it would be fine, but opponent's going to... Well, alright. I guess we see what they can hit. This is our opponent being shields down. We're not dead. Our deck is built for Velomachus more than theirs. I guess I can hit like Thoughtseize would be annoying. Well, Spinner to win an opponent. Oh! They whiffed! They whiffed. Oh my goodness, they whiffed. Okay. Sure. We take our beats. We treasure. We untap. We play a lad. We get creative. Blowing up the dwarf. Oh, but they have this blocking Velomachus. Huh. Alright, blow up the dwarf. Give Velomachus. Attack. There's every time warp. Take a time warp. Opponent blocks. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fabled Passage, crack it. I don't even know if we got a land left, but we want to shuffle. Alright, we got 1. Run it back. X1. Velomachus. Come on. We need to hit 1 time warp and we win. Because of what we have in hand. Alright, that works. Mastery. Time warp. We can take extra turns too. Oh. Alright. Extra turn. Hit ya. Cycle. Untap. Go attacking. Time warp. Keep the fun going. Keep it going. Hit ya. Prismari command. Loot. Treasure. Discard. Discard. Untap. Attack you. Prismari command. Discard treasure. It's a combo. It is a combo. Discard a Magma Opus and a land. Time warp. Whoo! Alright. Alright, alright, alright. That was pretty good. Extra turn. Velomachus. Physics Mastery. A break. Oh my god, we shouldn't have done this. Sure, whatever. We should have just not cast anything. It doesn't really matter because our opponent's just dead. Hit ya! And, oh, that was beautiful. Not infinite turns, but enough turns to kill our opponent even through stealing our Velomachus. Why not use Magma Opus? We just didn't need it. We didn't need it. So you got your Velomachus after all. Hope you didn't spend your retirement money. Only most of it. I still got a little left. I'll just retire on, I don't know, what's cheap? Beans? Beans. I will put the rest of my retirement into cans of beans. Dog food? I actually got to do a little family get together this weekend for the first time in like forever, which was super fun. And do you know what a resistance band is? You use it in like sports training. It's like a really big rubber band, essentially, like a really big rubber band that you can like put around someone and they run and blah blah blah. But we figured out, because I have a bunch of brothers, I've said that before, and some sisters as well, but we figured out that if you got 2 of us on each side of a resistance band, and then put one of our like little nephews or younger younger sisters in the middle, we could like bounce them back and forth. So you'd have two people, one on each side, and then another side, and just kind of like throw them back and forth at each other. It was actually pretty entertaining until the resistance band snapped and got someone in the face, which was pretty brutal. But it wouldn't be an Olive family get together without someone losing an eye. Oh, Playland passed the turn. They told me it wouldn't break. They said, "Oh, these are super strong. You use them for all this sports stuff. They're super strong. Like, don't worry about it." But that proved to not actually be the case. Not strong enough. The first time we did it, my little nephew that I was telling about, who's like 7 or 8, who got banned from the stream. The first time, he was the first person to try to do it, and me and my 7-foot brother that's playing college basketball, we were on one of them, and he bounced into us. And we threw him the other direction, and he did not do it right, and just like completely face planted. It was fun though. Good times now that everyone has finally been able to get vaccinated. So discard an Opus, discard a land. Well, let's see if we just win this turn. Winning this, we draw. Well, that's fine. We draw Velomachus, play the land, crack the land. Maybe this deck's kind of scary. Hey, what's up, Mina? How are you? Grab a mountain. Let's get creative. Sacking the treasure. Here comes Papa Velomachus. Give us a time warp. All right, time warp. We will accept it. Extra turn. Hit ya. Opponent says good game. Oh! Oh! It's kinda working. It's kinda working. Actually, many of my younger brothers cannot grow good beards. I don't know why. This is historic. Whew, that felt really good. We don't really believe in graveyard hate, apparently. So opponent's playing Phoenix. I mean, I guess we just try to protect our combo and win. We'll try the Reanimator build in a bit, and then don't worry, there will be dragons approaching. It's happening. Anger is decent. Are we a Dirty Nexus of Fate player? I mean, maybe. I guess when you put it like that, yeah, sorta, I guess. But we got a sweet Elder Dragon. Maybe a little. At least we're not Crim playing Teferis. I don't know. Do you think Time Warp's going to be safe for this format? Fishing! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. I mean, I kind of just want to defend the combo. Like, do we even need to be scared of our opponent casting a Phoenix? Like, what's a Phoenix going to do? We got Velomachus. That's like a million Phoenixes stapled together that just wins the game. We'll bring in one Anger of the Gods and another counter spell. The Floor Lords. Ooh, let me see Floor Lords for this second month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Someone crushed me in Standard with Jeskai Dragons. They had every Mythic Dragon in their deck and a million counter spells. I guess I could see that working. This hand's not bad if we find lands. Steam Vents, untap, pass the turd. Don't brainstorm lock us. Please. Yeah, that's what makes Time Warp very strong. If it exiled itself, I don't think a deck like this would work. But because it doesn't exile itself, actually pretty decent. Oh, we draw land. That's decent. Speaking of pretty decent, well, play the land, pass the turn. Opponent, land. Opponent probably sideboarded in a million counters. Steam vents. Tapped past the turn. All right, we would just like our opponent to tap out. Play a Crackling Drake or something. Do your little Phoenix shenanigans. We promise we won't hurt you. Oh, thanks for making my day, Borderline Sorts. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Have you tested the Mizzix Storm deck? I have not played Mizzix Mastery in Storm at all. Oh! Oh! Okay. Oh, opponent. Yes, that's a nice Arclight. Well, that's what we wanted to see. We will brainstorm. Put back. Ugh. 2 memory lapses. Untap. Dwarven Mine. Make a token. Creativity. We'll just sack the treasure. Sack the treasure. Velomachus. Come on, deck. Don't fail us now. Alright, that's a Time Warp. We will cast it. Take an extra turn. We will go to combat. Attack ya. Velomachus. Time Warp. Imagine that. We will take an extra turn. We will play Salundi Vision. We will make a treasure. We will brainstorm. Put back a couple of lads, untap, and that should hopefully do it. Fabled Passage, crack it. Shuffle in a Time Warp, and opponent scoops it up. Oh boy. We're kind of crushing people. We are kind of crushing. Is this a dirty Time Warp deck though? Should we feel bad? Should we feel good that we're getting people with Velomachus, or bad that we're getting them with Time Warp? I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about this. I mean, it does involve getting people with a sweet new Elder Dragon. Maybe it's a little bit of both. All right, let's do one more with this one, and then we will switch to the Reanimator build. So far, we're 3-1 with this one. So if we get one more, we'll see which Velomachus build is best. You're not casting it for Fairsies. I mean, I think this deck's pretty sweet. The combo is, we saw that when we played against Control. If you are a Control deck and you can just like leave up counter spells, we pretty much are not ever gonna win. Wow, lots of world trees. Hey, what's up, BG Stilts? How are you? Opponent's going to Growth Spiral. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, let's brainstorm. Put back Velomachus. And play a Dwarven Mine, pass the turn. Watch us draw all 3 Velomachuses. Opponent going to Cultivate. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Getting the ramp on. We need 2 more turns. We need 2 more turns to do cool things. Voted. We also need to not draw all of our Velomachuses. That would ruin us. Pass the turn. Is this the Amulet Titan deck of Historic? I can kind of see that. I can see the comparisons. Alright, another Cultivate. We would prefer our opponent to tap out if we had the choice. Well, it looks like we don't have the choice. Draw, treasure. You can counter this if you want. Alright, discard 2 Velomachuses. Do we go for it? Do we go for it or not? Now that you're vaccinated, when can we have an anchovy pizza stream again? Oh, we need to do another pizza stream. So there might be a possibility. What do you think about this? What do you think of? Oh yeah, we had a new Commander Clash podcast today, by the way. Part 2 of the ban list discussion. What do you think of pizza charity stream, but that involves the entire Commander Clash crew? You've already seen me eat anchovies. Like, what if also Tomer and Krim and Richard had to eat disgusting pizza of your design? Huh? Oh, that doesn't even work. All right. Well, that was a mistake. For some reason, I was thinking, yeah, that was just a mistake. That was a mistake. No other way about it. Punt. Krim probably does. Krim likes weird stuff. The pizza that, if I was gonna have a party that involved pizza, would be the pizza that was like left over and no one else would eat. Like, I don't know, cauliflower, or just like, ugh. Like the one that's like left, you show up to the party late and you just gotta, oh, opponent's gonna die. And you just gotta kind of accept whatever's left. That's like Krim's top tier pizza. We have exactly the opposite taste and stuff. Like, Krim likes milk on his cereal. So many weird things about that guy. Well, spin it to win it. Creativity. The only bad news is we do have a time warp in hand. So we do have some fizzle potential, but I mean, this is what we're here to do. Velomachus. Come on. We gotta hit one. We gotta hit one. We did not hit one. There they are. Ugh. They were a little bit too deep in our deck. Okay. This is less than optimal. And now our opponent knows that they need a counter too. Ugh. Well, I think we gotta take the creativity, because they can kill Velomachus. So if we take the lapse, they kill Velomachus, and then we're just... Actually, this is okay. If they ultimate Liliana, this is okay. Because we get to keep Velomachus. I've never seen someone do this naturally. I've seen people get it off of... I've seen people get it off of Emergent Ultimatum, but I've never seen someone hardcast it. Well, yeah. Velomachus. Treasure. Land. I think there's a reasonable chance that we still win this. It's going to be harder, but there's a shot. In Velomachus, we trust. We'll just take it. Alright. Mastery. Well. Attack. Alright, there's a time warp. There's a time warp. There's a time warp. Hit ya. Do it again. Untap. Shark Typhoon. Combat. Attack ya. Come on. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Mystic's Mastery. Yeah. That will cast a time warp. Sure. One more. One more. One more. We got there. Whew. Whew. Beat a Liliana ultimate. That is things that you don't hear every day. I don't think I've ever beat a Liliana ultimate before. Can we attack Liliana and trust it will hit one more to send a message? We could have. We could have just rubbed it in a little bit. beat a Liliana ultimate. I can't believe that our opponent didn't just take down Liliana. If they just take down Liliana, I don't think there's any way we win that game. Like, I think that would just straight up beat us, but... Huh. I feel like Velomachus might have been worth the 400 packs I had to open to get there. I'm coming around that it was all worth it in the end. I mean, I kind of feel like our opponent went for the like sweet line, which I can't blame him. Like, if I had the chance to ultimate Liliana, I would have been very tempted to do it too. But boy, leaving Velomachus out there is super risky. Couldn't they have just ticked down and then ultimated in like the next turn and probably won? It seems like that would have maybe been a better idea. All right. We got the Celendy vision. That's fine. I mean, we got creativity. We got treasure. It's actually kind of... Ooh. I do have a fear of drawing all of our Velomachuses. That does concern me. I guess we can try to brainstorm them back eventually, but drawing every Velomachus would be a blowout. I want to put Professor Onyx in a Zada style deck. So many triggers. Ooh. Yeah, Zada with Professor Onyx would be spicy. Opponent, forest, and, or, well, basically forest, pathway. No. Land go. Now, this is fine. We're going to have to wait an extra turn anyway. All right, chat. Up or down vote. Should we counter the growth spiral? Is it worth it? Nah, do it. Send a message. Yes. All right, we'll do it. I feel like we're not doing anything, so I like the feeling of doing something there. Ooh, and it might be that our opponent's desperate on lands too. We'll see. Oh boy, they are. Okay. Things are looking up for the poor old Elder Dragon. I mean, I think we just need to draw land. If we just hit a land... Opponent hits a land. Narset. Well, land for the win. Land for the win. Come on, deck. Any untapped land. Opponent, Narset, takes it down. Yeah, the counter worked out pretty well. Opponent hits a Thoughtseize. We draw... Not a land. Okay. That's not good. Now there's interaction and counters. Opponent takes down Narset. Our odds. So we don't do anything unless we draw land, and our odds of drawing a land are slightly higher if we hold Fabled Passage instead of taking a land out of our deck. And if we draw the land, then we got 4, and it comes into play untapped anyway, so I feel like since we need a land, that's the right call. Oh, there will be more Velomachuses, but so far you have missed many. Like, we've been going off with Velomachus. Opponent, Thoughtseizing. Yeah. Not... Well, maybe it's fine. Opponent has a counter, apparently. Well, land, Craggit. Oh, we're getting countered, aren't we? Get a mountain. Creativity. Oh my goodness, this is happening. It's happening. That's not happening. Well, kill Narset, hit our opponent, tap their lands. Okay, Grow Spiral. That was a pretty good whiff. Alright. Alright. Put us on a 10. What do you got? What do you got? I've been trying several variations of the Luminmancer deck, similar to today's Budget Magic. I have found Boros to be the best shell. Ooh, let me take a look. Well, now we can't even creativity because we don't have any Velomachuses left. Mystical Dispute's good, at least. Boros Magecraft. Rhymerock Knight does seem good. Crash Through's good. The burn spells are nice. Alright, I can definitely see the... I can see the upside of being in red. I like the card draw that blue has to offer. I mean, I think we're mostly in on making this token go all the way since our hand is so bad. Yeah, I do like the Boros look about it. Oh! 4-1! 4-1 with build 1 of Velomachus. The Shockland also lethal. Well, I guess that game showed that even when things don't go perfectly, the deck can still piece it together and make it work. Have to go. My girlfriend isn't feeling great. Have a nice stream. Check out the replay later. Oh, well, Adrian, I hope your girlfriend feels better. Next time you play Paper Commander, thanks for hanging out, by the way, I think you should try my pet format, Tussle. Draft a commander and exactly 20 cards from a commander deck. Play a 20 life game. It's a fun challenge because of how important each choice is. You see half of your deck by turn 3. How many lands do you include board wipes? Interesting. I've never heard of that format. So, maybe we'll have to give it a shot sometime. It's been a minute since I've got to play Paper Commander. I guess I played a little bit on webcam, but alright, so that was Velomachus Indomitable Creativity combo, and I gotta say, it felt pretty good. It felt really solid. I don't know if I changed much. We went 4-1 with it. Upside is the combo was very, very strong. Like, a lot of times, we'd get a Velomachus, and we would chain stuff together, and we'd win the game. Downside is hardcore control. Like, heavy counterspell decks seem really good against our deck. Not that they're unbeatable. Like, in theory, we can try to counter them back. But our one match against blue-black control, it felt like we were heavily disfavored. However, there is more than one way to Velomachus. Have you considered adding Valaka or another way to put cards back in your deck? We got Brainstorm, so we do have a way in Brainstorm, but you could play a Valakut Awakening if you wanted. Tusador, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Deck number 2. We are reanimating Velomachus. This is Velomachus Reanimator. So the idea of this deck is we're still kind of trying to do similar things. We're trying to get Velomachus on the battlefield. Instead of cheating into play with Indomitable Creativity, we're trying to discard it to Faithless Looting or to Thrilling Discovery, and then reanimate it with Unburial Rites. The upside is we can play other creatures in our deck because we don't have to worry about Indomitable Creativity, so we can also like reanimate Scholar of the Lost Troves, we get Bone Crusher for some removal, but once we get Velomachus on the battlefield, we're mostly hoping to do the same thing, like hit a Time Warp for an extra turn, maybe Unburial Rites to get back Scholar, to get back Time Warp, to get another extra turn, and just kind of keep churning through the deck until we win with our big flyers. So that is the plan of this deck. So similar, but a very different way of going about getting Velomachus on the battlefield. Can you please check out this best of one deck? What is your best of one deck, Galibna? Send me a link. Pest looks sweet. So let's try Velomachus take 2, reanimating Velomachus. The Pest deck looks fun. Callous Blood Mage. I do like Callous Blood Mage quite a bit. Reanimator seems weaker. Well, I guess we will find out. We will see. Your budget Lumimancer deck made me think it could have worked better as a best of one deck. I feel like a lot of decks probably work better. Hey, thank you, Strictly Cheese. I feel like a lot of decks maybe are better as best of one decks. Like, in general. Ooh. Mentor in best of one, eh? Sedgemoor Witch is definitely a powerful card. I haven't seen too much black-white spell slinging, but Leonin Lightscribe is also powerful. I mean, that definitely looks sweet. I think when I was playing the Budget Magic deck, I was really wondering, like, what's the best color combination? I've heard people, like, talk about mono-white Magecraft. We're looking at black-white Magecraft. We saw Boros Magecraft. There's a lot of different color combinations, and each of them offers some upside compared to the other colors. Like black, you don't get as much good card draw at all, but you do get good discard and better removal. Blue offers best card draw. Red offers probably the fastest clock because you got bird spells. So I think you could build a Magecraft deck in any number of color combinations in Standard. And I'm honestly, you could go into 3 colors as well. Like Jeskai could be a thing. Hello, opponent. So we need red and white. Well, let's have a bit of a thrill. All right. Well, next up, Unburial Rites. I looked at the Commander podcast. What is the conclusion? We don't need a rules committee because they are lacking in consistency. Sure. Our hand is pretty redundant at this point. I don't know if I would say we don't need a rules committee. Are you going to draw every Time Warp, right? Probably. I don't know if I would say we don't need a rules committee. Someone needs to oversee the format, I think. Exactly who, I guess, we could have a conversation about. Like, is it better for Wizards to do it or the rules committee? That I'm not 100% sure. But I do think someone has to be... Oh, is it not updated? Oh, it's a scoop steer, I see. But I do think someone has to be, like, the ultimate arbiter of the format. At the same time, I do think that the rules committee... The rulings in what is banned and what is not banned, if you really dig into it, it doesn't seem very consistent to me. And maybe that's partly because... the rules committee has their, like, setting an example thing that they talked about, where the idea isn't, like, we ban every single card, but it's we ban cards to set an example of what you should or shouldn't play, which to me is a pretty weird idea. But that might be part of it as well. Opponent, Thoughtseize Part 20. But yeah, so I don't know. Who do you think should control the Commander ban list? Oh, they're playing Scavenger. That's not realistic. Well, Prismari Command. Blow up an artifact. make a treasure. So we're going to have to try to win without our graveyard. That's going to be a lot harder. Scavenger ground. Ugh. Well, opponent's got the tech. They do not want to lose to graveyard decks, apparently. Opponent, Ifnir Deadlands. And Etern Archive, alright. Sure. Well, Faithless Looting. Discard, discard. Untap Lab, Time Warp. Okay, so we need to draw Reanimation this turn, I guess. Or more Thrill of Discoveries. Oh. So close, so close, so close. Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, Scavenger Grounds is it does seem like a pretty good card to have in this That can't be what our opponent meant to click. There is no way that's what our opponent was intending to click. Wow, and they are going to pay a very big price for that misclick. Time Warp. Oh no, opponent. I feel... Whoa, and the Shape Scoop. Oh, this is why I hate Arena. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what our opponent was trying to do. I'm assuming he has something else, but... If the RC did more, I'd be okay with it. Just about every time now, something happens like this. With Walking Dead cards, my friend basically tries to ruin everything because it refers to Rule Zero. Yeah, the whole concept of Rule Zero is a little bit strange. Like, from the perspective of any other format, the idea of, like, we're not going to ban things, but you should just, like, you know, decide for yourself. That's sort of a weird concept to have as an actual, like, core tenet of a format. Rule Zero is basically, feel free to ignore our ban list and do whatever you want. I think the problem is, I think that works really well for... yeah, it works well for playgroups. I think if you do have a playgroup, you should do whatever you want to do, obviously. So from that perspective, Rule Zero makes a lot of sense, which to me would mean that the ban list is about, like, competitive play, quote unquote. Like, that's where it's kind of, like, contradictory to me. So you have Rule Zero. So the actual ban list from the RC just shouldn't be relevant to your playgroup because there's Rule Zero, so you should decide whatever you need to do. But the actual ban list is so inconsistent and strange. Oh, God. Whew. Our opponent is very prepared for graveyard decks. Opponent is ready. All right. Well. Well. Are we gonna Thrilling Discovery away some lands, I guess? Yeah, I guess we do. I mean, we have some answers in our deck. We have Rip Apart, so... Tap land. Well, play a land, pass the turn. I mean, I guess we could also just hardcast stuff eventually, maybe. Play a land. Wow, so many lands. Well, this is going to give us some mana to potentially hardcast stuff, at least. Just curious, how many games do you typically give a new deck idea before starting to tweak it in non-EDH? It really depends. I think a lot of times you got to give it at least like, I don't know, probably a reasonable number would be something like 5. But there are also times when you kind of just immediately know something's wrong, if that makes sense. Like you play your very first game and you get wrecked by a graveyard deck, and you're like, oh man, I forgot to put any graveyard hate in my sideboard. In those scenarios, Rip Apart's actually kind of what we were looking for. In those scenarios, I think it makes sense to just update it immediately rather than waiting. But at the same time, like, I don't think you can really judge a deck by a single game because there's just so much variance in Magic. Like, you can mulligan, your opponent's head could be their nut draw. So in a one-game sample size, you really can't learn a whole lot. I honestly think that that's a clock. I honestly think that even like a stream is not an especially great sample size for judging a deck. Or like what we do on YouTube, like one episode of Budget Magic where we play like 4 matches, 5 matches. That's not necessarily enough. All right, well, Graveyard Hate down for now. Play the land. Boy, if we win this, that would be very impressive. Opponent, do you have more Graveyard Hate? Please no. I know Thrilling Discovery is being played in Modern Dredge, but would you play it in Mardu Pyromancer? Possibly. I think it's a lot closer than Cathartic Reunion. I think that it has a lot more fair potential, just because Cathartic Reunion, it is so easy to 3-for-1 yourself if it gets countered and just like lose essentially. That's a big old Crawling Barrens. That's going to be interesting. Opponent. Oh. That's a Velomachus. That's a Velomachus. If it fizzles, we get absolutely destroyed. We can hardcast it. We can also thrill and time walk first. That might be better. I mean, the other option is we thrill discovery, or thrilling discovery, see if we can find like reanimation or something, and then go from there. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to thrilling discovery, discard. Alright, we find nothing. So play Sulfur Falls. Time Warp. We draw land. Well, Velomachus, gotta save us. Gotta save us. Okay, that's a Time Warp, yeah. Yeah. We will play a Steam Vents tapped. We draw a Triome. 1, 2, 3. Cycle a Triome. We have hit a lot. Boy, if we pull this together. Triome. Ugh, there's Unburial Rites. I don't go attacking. Oh! Oh, we hit! Time Warp! Shock ourselves. Cycle. Wow! Are we going to piece this together? Go to combat. Attack. Ooh, Prismari command. Loot. Treasure. Ha! Yes! Wow! We had no business winning this one. None. Well, one more. And that's a GG's. Maybe Velomachus is just a pretty insane card. Like, it's seeming possible that the Velomachus is just pretty busted. Maybe it's actually just a really good card. Wow, Pona had all the disruption in the world, too. Like, all of it. They had Graveyard Hate, they had the Ley Line, and we were able to overcome that and pull off the win through the Graveyard Hate. Quick reminder before our next game that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magic cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Ooh, a pack. Can we get one of our missing mythics? Yes. All right. Another mythic achieved. We're getting there slowly. Do you think Historic would be more popular than Modern if they were both in paper? I don't think the Historic can succeed as a paper format. I think part of what makes Historic fun is things like Mystical Archives, and is things like Historic Anthologies, is things like Blacks will probably be on a poll, an upcoming poll. So if you vote for it, yes. It's a wide array of tap lands. But I think part of what makes Historic fun is it can change so quickly. Cards added, cards being banned. Ooh, Murph, okay. And I don't know if that could actually work in paper. I feel like in paper you need stability because cards are so expensive. I mean, I guess they're also so expensive on Arena. But that would be my concern, I think, about having it be a format in paper is Silvergill Adept. Sure. No. Discard you. Hopefully our opponent... Ooh, we have Rast in this deck. Play a Triome. Well, if our opponent taps out, we can spin it to win it. They probably shouldn't have too many counters in their Merfolk deck. I really need to know after watching CDH Week. Do you know all the abilities on Snoop now? About it. Skydiver. Yeah, I think I figured out what I did wrong there. Spell Pierce, eh? Well, I mean, if they Spell Pierce, they Spell Pierce. We're doing what we do. Velomachus, attack you. Time Warp. Yeah, sure. Seems fine. Decent. We gonna bounce it now that it's... opponent takes it down to 13. Oh, we draw a Time Warp. Do we have blue mana? We do. I'll play the land. Go to combat, attack you. Prismari command. 2 damage, loot. I guess we kill the flyer. Discard Velomachus, discard Unburial Right. Opponent drops to 8. Time Warp. Extra turn. Untap. Go to combat. Attack you. Huh. That's a Time Warp. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Untap. Velomachus. Hey, it's another one. This is so busted. This is so busted. Oh, this is so busted. I almost feel bad about how ridiculous this is. Didn't we calculate it and we were like, didn't we say we were like 65% hit with Velomachus, a time warp? I feel like it's even better than that. Like the way that it is played out, maybe it's because of like our faithless suitings and how we're filtering through the deck, but it seems like it has been way more consistent than the 65% number suggested. Should there be any brainstorms in this deck? We got faithless looting, so I don't think we really need brainstorm. I mean, brainstorm's not going to be bad, hardly ever, but I don't think it's like super necessary. Helicrobe for the 27th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you make this in Modern? You can make this even faster in Modern. In Modern, you have 2 mana reanimation, like Goryo's Vengeance. And in Modern, you have more extra turn spells that you can potentially hit. So, actually, I should double check that. I'm trying to think. Is there another 5-mana extra turn spell? Well, you have extra combat spells that work as extra turn spells. So, losing Faithless Looting is tough. That's kind of the biggest loss, honestly, is not having Faithless Looting. So you'd probably have to use, like, Merchant of the Veil. Doesn't Savor the Moment not let you untap, though? We kind of need our Velomachus to untap. But you do get extra combat steps, which are essentially just as good as extra turn spells. They're very close to just as good. Geez, what are we cutting? Go down a couple Scholars. Go down... Oh boy. Oh no, we're gonna all the Scholars? We'll leave 1 Scholar. Oh, we have so much removal and sweepers that we want. Oh, is it just, if it's just lands? I thought it was skip your untap phase or whatever. Let me look it up. Savor the Moment, MTG. That sounds actually pretty good. Take an extra turn, skip the untap step that turn. So yeah, but extra combat spells are just as good. Oh, I guess that's true. Velomachus has Vigilance. So I guess that would be fine. So you play Time Warp, you can play Savor the Moment, you can play Goryo's Vengeance for faster reanimation. So, yeah, I think that something like this could work in Modern. The only other thing is, Dredge and other graveyard decks are already in the format, so that means many Modern decks are prepared for graveyard-based combos. So that would be something that I think would be worth keeping in mind, that Modern is a format where players are packing graveyard hate. So there might be more hate in the format than there is in Historic, but still, you can do it pretty quickly. Merfolk Trickster. Faithless Looting. I guess we just loot. Might as well. I feel like our opponent probably has counters. Wow, so many lands this game. Discard Steam Vents and discard a Triome. Play a Triome. Pass the turn. We do have lots of sweepers, though, so we should be fine. Oh, I missed your sub. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Interner, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 2nd month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Definitely appreciate it. And my apologies for missing it the first time around. There's too many words on cards. Like, look at Velomachus. Look at all that text. I mean, really, if you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'd say there's like 50 plus words. 50 plus words. Missing one of them, that means you're like 98% on point. So I actually think that's a pretty good rate. That would be my argument. That only missing one out of the 50. All right, opponent counter number 1 is actually a win. Tablet go. Opponent, 2 cards in hand, runs out a Lord, goes attacking. Oh my goodness, really? Oh, Merfolk Dream Draw. Yeah, alright, sure. Well, that is exactly what our opponent needed. Well, our opponent drew 2 out of 2 out of presumably like 4 counters, so they just had exactly the hand they needed for the matchup. Hey Seth, me and my playgroup's friends searching for a sassy theme for Commander created a 4-player World War II tournament with Germans, Americans, Persons, and Russians. If I send you the 4 deck list, is there some possibility to see them on Commander Clash? That is a really interesting theme that I've never even thought of, Adra. So yes, I do think that there would be a possibility that we would see those on Commander Clash. So definitely send them to me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com, because that's a really interesting theme. Yeah, Andrew was an amazing guest on the podcast. He had a lot of interesting thoughts, and he was diplomatic, I think, and well spoken, but also not afraid to like share his opinion. So I think he was like the perfect guest to talk about MPL stuff. People mentioned earlier that they think we should start doing more guests on the podcast. Who else would you want to see? Who would be your top tier of guests? Let's say you can have whoever you want on the Goldfish podcast. Who would you pick? Autumn Burchett. Okay, Autumn would be an interesting guest. I like it. Professor Crokies, MTG Lee, Mark Rosewater, Merchant, Edward Snowden. That might be a that might be a tough one. Rudy would be a really interesting guest too. Well, we're just gonna time warp. If we want to counter our time warp with nothing on the battlefield, apparently our opponent does. Or maybe this is just like a deck that's playing infinite counter spells. And if our opponent's playing infinite counter spells, they probably have a good matchup against Velomachus. That's one thing that we have seen really consistently, that just playing every counter spell in existence, pretty good against what we're trying to do. Anger of the Gods. Opponent. Alright, does not have a counter spell for that one. Danny Trejo. I wonder if that's possible. He's kind of in the Magic world now. Alright, opponent runs out a bunch more Merfolk. Adapts their Merfolk. I think I could probably get Mountain Goats on the cast. Hopefully. I would there's a ton of Noxious, Day9, Caleb, Elon Musk. That would be another tough get. Well, opponent stepped out. We just drew another time warp. That's awkward. Ugh, there's a lot of whiff potential. Well, let's time warp. See what we draw. Play a land. Well, all right. Save us, Velomachus. Time warp. Play the land. Prismari command. Loot kill. Discard. Thrilling discovery. Triome. Velomachus hits a... Wow! Another time warp. Okay. Opponent goes to 8. Stomp you. Bone Crusher. That looks like lethal to me. And through the counters, Velomachus. Opponent good games us. Treasure damage you. Hit ya. The deck's busted. The deck's busted. This deck is so good. Yeah, Shivon would be a fun guest. Shivon would be a good guest for the Commander Clash podcast, probably. That would probably be the perfect home for Shivon. Do you think that standard Velomachus will work with Transmogrify? So, as I was getting ready for the stream today, I was messing around trying to build a standard Velomachus deck and looking at other people's standard Velomachus decks. The problem I ran into is, while you can definitely cheat Velomachus into play, that part's easy. You can cheat it into play. You can transmogrify it. You can Luca it. That part, no problem. The problem is, what do you actually hit with Velomachus that's good? There's no extra turns. There's no extra combat steps. There's nothing like Mizzix Mastery. So there's not actually good payoffs for Velomachus in Standard. I think maybe if you can like pump its power, but you can't. So Velomachus, it's fine. Velomachus hits stuff that is has a mana value equal to or less than its power. So it can only hit things that are 5 mana naturally. Someone sent me a list that was trying to like pump it, like trying to hit things to like boost its power, give it double strike, and win in like 2 attacks. Something like that could kind of work, maybe. Even though, wow, look at this hand. Well, discard and discard. So something like that could maybe work, although it's still not super optimal. So that was the issue I ran into. So we can play one for fun, potentially. Very well. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are we going to be fast enough? We'll see. So next turn we can kill something, make a treasure. Maybe. Opponent hits us. Ooh, do they have Coco? Oh! Oh, that's game. Well, we found a card that's good against us. That's a card named Scavenging Ooze. And we can't even kill it with Prismari command. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And there's 2 creatures, so they can grow in response. Well, we can't kill in response, because they can activate twice. Yeah, I don't think there's a way out of this one. Really? Well, just kidding. There may indeed be a way out of this one. Oh! Okay. Shame scoop. Yeah. Should have played a different land. Wow, I was not thinking that our opponent was going to take the craziest line I'd ever seen. But perhaps we should have been. Yeah, we should have played a different land there. That was my fault. I chose a terrible time to post that he was hoping he would read the comment. Oh, wait, what was your comment that I missed, Ferrethal? Yeah, I mean, I assumed our opponent would would take the logical line, but apparently not. So we'll bring in a couple Anger of the Gods. We'll go down some Scholars. And we're on the play this game. Part of the sub announcement. The welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup here for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Punt 300, we did it. Goal achieved. I mean, we still should have played the other land. Like, regardless, we should have played the other land. So that's just straight up a punt. Discard. But now we know that our opponent really values eating Faithless Lootigs. Post an idea about Commander Clash. Oh, let me pull that up. Did I miss another sub? Are the subs not splashing today for some reason? They might not be splashing. I feel like I'm not hearing them. Well, stomp your Llanowar. Play Hallowed Fountain past the turn. Veritha, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 3rd month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup here for you. Thanks for reading my Tussle custom format idea. Love your content and perpetual upbeat attitude. Here's a content idea for Commander Clash. Have each player draft from 32 color combinations, 8 each. And over the season, you play a bracket. Oh, I see. So you're not drafting cards. You're just like picking a color combination. That would be a cool way to make sure there was always some variety, I think. Well, what's looting? Discard Velomachus. Actually, maybe we... Discard Velomachus. Discard Anger of the Gods. Play a land past the turn. See what our opponent finds. Yeah, that would be a cool idea. I'm just missing the splashes. That's also possible. Ugh. Spellbinding for days. Alright. Sure. Well, I probably would have played things differently if I thought our opponent would have 2 Spellbinders. I'm playing the land. Pass the turn. Opponent taps. I mean, we might be fine, though. So we get to Prismari Command, kill something, make a treasure, and then Time Warp if we want to. Opponent goes attacking. Or maybe we should just loot. Yeah, let's just loot. Kill you. Loot. Discard a land. Discard Thrilling Discovery. Drop to 13. Love the Magecraft video from yesterday. Yeah, I think that's a pretty sweet budget option. Can definitely get in some fast damage and does not take many wild cards. Well, Time Warp. Not a good one, but it is a Time Warp. Land, Time Warp, get it out of exile. We don't have black mana. 1, 2, 3. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Looting. Discard Unburial Rites and Ooh, what do we actually do? Yeah, the intro was actually pretty hilarious. That was a really good one. Hmm. The question is, do we need to Wrath this turn? I mean, discarding Velomachus is probably fine. The question is, do we need to Wrath? We can get Velomachus. Yeah, I think we Wrath. I don't know. Now our opponent probably has Scavenging Ooze off the top, and we get wrecked for that decision. But all right, Lovestruck Beast. Okay, we did not get wrecked. We did not get wrecked for that decision. So now we get to Unburial Rites to get a Velomachus. Go attacking. Huh. Interesting. Anger doesn't get rid of Lovestruck Beast, though. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Hit you for 5. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, just pass. Alright. If our opponent plays another 1-1, we can Bone Crush it, so we don't take damage. Luminarch Aspirant. Well, stomp you. No attacking Bone Crusher. Okay, opponent's got another one. Well, we still got a Velomachus, though. That's the important thing. Opponent hits us. Land. Not great, but we got Velomachus. Go attacking. Time Warp. Cast it. Hit ya. Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher. Untap. Attack with everything. Whiff. Thrilling Discovery. Discard. Discard. Opponent goes to 1. Oh, so close. 1 life. Faithless Looting. Opponent scoops it up! Oh! We didn't even have Lethal, but we managed to grind him out. Wow. Yeah, hitting Prismari Command would have closed it out there. I wonder if we should not cut so many Scholar of the Lost Troves. I really don't know. That tends to be the card I take out, but maybe we need it. Because I feel like... Maybe it's fine because Velomachus just wins. But it is a little awkward once we have Velomachus that our reanimation kind of doesn't do anything. Maybe we just go 4 sweepers. All right. Let's bring in one more Scholar of the Lost Troves. Shelled out more money. Eventually got the wild cards necessary. I still opened 0 Velomachuses naturally. This hand would be sweet if we had one more land. I opened 0 naturally, but... Oh boy, let's try it like that. But was able to get wild cards to do them eventually. We have a new donation from Big Joker, $10 donation. EDH question: I have parallel lives. If I have parallel lives and Izika's Chariot out and target it with replication technique, how many tokens would I create after it resolves? Okay. I might have to think about this. Actually, I think I got to look up replication technique because I'm not sure what replication technique is. Okay. Opponent's getting off to a bit of a quick start here. What is replication technique? Replication technique. Okay. Oh! Yeah. Thalia. We really want to be able to Prismari command here. Time Warp, not very good. Well, Stomp the Thalia. We need to get to this Wrath, and I don't know if it's going to happen. So replication technique. Oh, so many taxes. Maybe they can't read this one. maybe the Japanese art will confuse them. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control. So you have parallel life, so that doubles it. Azika's Chariot. Target it with replication technique. Wait, I'm so confused. So you have parallel lives. You target Azika's Chariot with a replication technique. Or are we targeting Joker? Are we targeting parallel lives? Is the idea okay? So I'm very confused by this question. A little slightly confused by the question. Pass the turn. I mean, so if you have parallel lives and you cast a replication technique, you would get 2 tokens instead of 1. Really? I'll create a treasure and so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess we just have to loot for a land in Wrath and hope that that's enough. Oh, taxes for days. So I think you get 2, although I still might be misunderstanding the whole idea of the question. Jaguar for the 44th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, alright, sure. Opponent hits us. Well, a Prismari command. Draw and treasure. Oh, okay. We drop to 4. Anger the gods. Pass the turn. We need a Velomachus. Cherry is legendary. You get a ton of cats, though. Lovestruck Beast. I'll play the tapped land. Pass the... Wow, this is so close. Pass the turn. Lovestruck Beast, 1/1. Oh. Yeah. I think that does it. Brutal. 2 1/1s. Well, I guess you can't win 100% of the time. I actually think we should be pretty good against that game, but Pote had the right combination of cards there. I'm still confused about the question. The list version of Tulane is almost $950. The list is. It's ridiculous. I did not know that. The list is not something to even think about, is my opinion. Like, the list is. It's a marketing tool, essentially. I don't know if it's actually that price. So I think what's happening, I see it listed at $942 TCG mid. I think what's happening, if you look at the prices, there are two people that have lightly played copies listed. One is for $10,000, which I really don't understand the upside of TCG allowing people to list cards for that price. But there's one for $10,000, one for $900. I assume that that's not actually a realistic price at all. I haven't looked on eBay. I would assume you could just buy copies on eBay for, a very normal price. So Card Kingdom is out of stock, but the list doesn't do anything. The list is it's a marketing ploy. I think that's how I think of the list. Like it's not a bad thing. I'm glad that the list exists, I guess, but it really doesn't do anything positive for anyone, in my opinion. Like, the only thing it does is give you a very small chance of a very like minuscule tiny chance of like winning the lottery, essentially. Like, it's theoretically possible that you could open something valuable. The list is a list of reprints that can potentially show up in set boosters. But the thing is, they are incredibly scarce. Only 1 in 4 packs will even have a list card in them, period. And then they are also various rarities. So even if you do get a list card, there's a pretty reasonable chance that it'll usually be a common rather than one that is more rare and valuable. So really, I feel like the list is a way for Wizards to try to sell more packs, but it's not a way to actually reduce the cost of cards. So from the perspective of being actual reprints that are going to reduce the cost of cards, I don't think that the list does actually anything at all. I think it's cool that you get a chance to open old cards in your packs, and compared to not having them on the list, I guess it does technically do sort of something, but it's a very, very, very slight chance of getting something good. It's still the most massive printing of these old cards that they've seen. I'm very curious how many are in existence, though. Like, the Tulane price, it makes me think that there are very few in existence. Like, let's see. How many cards are on the list? It's a very high number, I believe. So there are 300 cards on the list. There are 25% of packs. 1 out of 4 packs will have one, and they are the proper rarity. So you'll get commons way more frequently than uncommons more frequently than rares more than mythics. So with 300 cards, even open one of each if they were all the same rarity, that's a lot of packs. That's 1,200 set booster packs. That's a very, very large number. So I can't imagine that it meaningfully adds to the supply of cards, especially for mythics. I would assume that the number of like Tulanes in existence is tiny, absolutely tiny. At the same time, I don't think it's not a bad thing. I'm not against the list or anything. I just don't think it's actually like a meaningful form of like reprinting, in my opinion. But I guess every little bit adds up to some extent. Oh, we're gonna have to get lucky once, I think. Well, yeah. Velomachus. If we get a Time Warp here, we win. Ugh, yeah. Well, crush ya. Yeah, with 2 Time Warps in hand, that was a concern. They are the exact printings with, I believe, like a little stamp in the corner, but they look exactly like their old ones, minus that, I believe. So it's got the little like Planeswalker symbol stamp in the corner. All right, opponent's going for it. Opponent mills a land, they flip. Well, I mean, our opponent might just go infinite. Well, they probably do go infinite. Alright, well, I guess we can't really complain because we have Time Warp in our deck too. Our opponent is just a full-on turn stack. Just fully dedicated to trying to take infinite turns. Opponent explores, draws a card. Untaps. Yeah, we finally got our Velomachuses. Hey, what's up, Mashing? How are you? Good to see ya. Julane is non-foil, though, which probably contributes to the price. No, that could be true, especially with the Pringling. Magic the Pringling. Opponent ticks up. Do they hit an extra turn spell? Not at the moment. Do they have one in hand? Brainstorms. Do they find an extra turn spell? Opponent. Narset. Are we actually going to get a turn after all this? I don't know if we can win with that turn, but... Auron's Epiphany. Land. No, they hit it. They still have Nissa. Narset. Oh, they don't have double... They do have double blue if they have Nissa. No, they don't. Wow, are they going to be a blue mana short? Are we going to get a turn and have a shot? We might actually have a shot. It's got to be Velomachus, right? When is the video with Vince coming about raiding beards? We were talking about doing one with Keldheim. But now I'm not sure. We'll have to get another good beard set. In the next update, Arena should include an overlay to curl your cards to make you feel at home, like a paper player. Well, alright. We basically just got to win this turn. Easy. This should go fine. So. Velomachus. Attack our opponent. Is there anything we can spin into? No. Well, in that case, Bone Crusher. Kill a bird. Opponent blocks. Time Warp. Play the tap land. Okay, draw the Time Warp. Go to combat. Velomachus. Can we outturn the turns? Get a Prismari command. Two damage, make a treasure. Oh, oh. Okay, Haze of Pollen. Fog is the last card. Pota goes to 11. Thankfully, we have a Time Warp in hand. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Extra turn. Untap. Velomachus you. Not getting fogged this time. That's a time warp. Hit ya. Play a land. Play a Bone Crusher. Play a Bone Crusher. Untap. Combat. Everything. Face. Velomachus. Is there even... We never hit a... We have not played a single Scholar, have we? Well, I guess we Unburial Rites a Bone Crusher. Opponent can do some jumping, but we got another extra turn. We're out-turning the turn deck. We really are. Could Velomachus actually be like a legit top-tier historic deck? I was thinking we'd do some janky fun stuff once in a while, but I didn't expect it to... I didn't expect us to just, like, crush people. I mean, Prismari Command is lethal, but Time Warp is also lethal, and even sweeter. I mean, our opponent's trying to turn us. How can we not kill them with their own archetype? Attack you. Oh, yeah. I mean, every build that we've played has been sweet so far. Like every single one has been pretty sweet. So we will bring in counter spells. We will go down Wraths. Go down the Wraths. Rip Apart. I guess I can hit a Planeswalker is somewhat relevant. Maybe go down a Scholar. Go down a Bone Crusher. Is Rip Apart just better than Bone Crusher? Probably. Alright, run it like that. I wasn't expecting Bone Crusher to live up to its name so well. and then after this, we're going full on meme mode. We're going best of one. We're going Dragon's Approach. That was the third build of Velomachus. I will warn you, we will probably give back all of our sweet gains we've made as far as our rank today. But it might work. It seems like it could work sometimes. Maybe. When it does, it's going to be hilarious. Yeah, Stomp is good against the Fogs. That is true. I wonder if that's a reason to keep it in the deck. I used to think that my M20 Red Aggro deck I slapped together after Arena came to Mac was great brewing. Then I realized crafting 4 Bone Crushers was all that ever mattered. Bone Crusher is quite the card. I mean, Bone Crusher, it is like slowly showing up more and more in like Legacy, in Modern. It is just, people are waking up to it just being insane, even in older formats. What about a Dragon's Approach with all the Strixhaven Mythic Dragons? Ooh. We could. I mean, that is a... We could. It'd be kind of funny. Just to build the ultimate Strixhaven deck. I think that the best dragons are ones that... Yeah, Quandrix doesn't do anything. Shadrach is just really, really bad. No, Bone Crusher is, like, broken. Bone Crusher is way better than I want my rares to be. Yeah, I think we need a Prismari Command, because we really want to hit a Lorehold if we can. I mean, yeah, if anything, Bone Crusher has been a big negative for Standard. It's fine for older formats, but in Standard, it's a bit over the top. I'll discard. We can reanimate Scholar and Prismari command, I guess? I mean, sure. It's a big body. Prismari command. Loot. Make a treasure. Discard and discard. Well, we're doing it the very old-fashioned way. Pass the turn. I mean, I guess that wasn't a bad turn. Will Crux of Fate just be better than like Wrath of God in the sideboard? Ooh, for a Velomachus deck? Maybe. I think in this build I can see an argument for it because we actually have black mana. I think you got to be able to cast it. So if you have the black mana to cast it, I think it's probably just better. But if you don't have the black mana, then... Ooh. Oh, wow. We can cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah? Just how we drew it up. Velomachus. We're going all the way. We're going all the way. The worst. Well, that was a whiff. Well, ooh, maybe we should have killed the Nissa. I don't know if that's a pun. Maybe. About it, lad cracks it. They fizzled last time. I don't know if we count on that though. Oh, should we have killed the Nissa? Maybe we should have killed the Nissa. I mean, a Time Warp literally wins us the game. And we have not hit any Time Warps. So our odds of finding one are actually pretty good. Yeah, maybe it just didn't work out. Well, one Time Warp doesn't win if we go after Nissa. If we attack Nissa and hit a Time Warp, then we're basically in the same position where if we hit another Time Warp, I mean, our opponent's at 20, so we can attack for 10. So we got to attack him twice. If we take a break to hit Nissa, then we need three attacks. I still kind of feel like it was the right choice. Alren's Epiphany again. Now we'll see. Opponent. Untaps. If you'd hit Time Warp going after Nissa, your opponent is at 10 with no Nissa and only 4 lands. Opponent turned on a land. So if we go after Nissa, we don't kill the land that we killed. So they'd have an extra land from that. And then his Kanta flips. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'd be fine. Oh, kill a forest. Drop to 17. Opponent. Vehicular tokens. Ooh, let me take a look, Jank Jesus. Opponent flips. Iskanta. Ether Gust, Velomachus. Untaps a land, goes attacking. Opponent. Jeez. Yeah, see, I think our opponent would have won either way. Like, if we go after Nissa, then our opponent, don't they just Time Warp, Alren's Epiphany, Alren's Epiphany? I don't think that would have. I think it would have worked out not that way. Maybe not. Without Nissa, they can't cast Epiphany. Well, remember they'd be +1 lands because we didn't get to kill. We wouldn't have gotten to kill the. Well, I don't know. Well, they would have definitely got to flip his Kanta because they'd have Nissa in the graveyard. So it would have gotten his Kanta to flip, so that'd be +1 land. Nissa, 8 mana, but 1 extra land, 5 mana. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we still had a, 75-80% chance to just win the game. Seems like pretty good odds. Matcha Drango, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know. I mean, if we got an 80% chance or whatever the math is to win the game, well, if we rip apart this Kanta, then they keep the land. So they're going to be +1 mana regardless. Well, we got a Faithless Looting. No blue mana. We shall see. Well, untap land, Faithless Looting. Many more lands. Discard, discard. Pass the turn. Chariot tokens looks fun, Jank Jesus. That's definitely looks like when it goes off, it should be able to do some some really fun things. I mean, we played Colossal Power Giant Ox. When you have them both together, they do super sweet things. Opponent has what? 1, 2, 3 mana. Well, I guess we gotta pass. Pass the turn. Opponent. The Mystical Dispute should be good at some point. And I assume that Looting and Brainstorm and possibly Time Warp are all gonna get banned, but we'll see. More foretelling. Well, Prismari Command. Loot. Treasure. Opponent has a counter. Well, Faithless Looting. Discard and discard. Play a land past the turn. So our opponent has 2 extra turn spells already foretold. So once they get the mana, they're going to be able to go off. Brainstorms. Can't counter that. Hey, what's up, Guido? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. I think Looting is better than Brainstorm in Historic. Velomachus has been really good. Kind of been crushing it. Takes a lot of extra turns in a row sometimes. Search for his Kanta. Okay. We draw Velomachus. One, two, three. Yeah, we can't do it this turn. Well, untap land, go. Maybe next turn. We could try next turn. So we can Prismari Command. That was going to be super close. I don't think we can dispute that. I think we got to dispute Nissa / Tameo / extra turn spells / something that stops us from resolving Velomachus. This is just a ways away from being a scary thing. Opponent, land. And wow, opponent's thinking about something. This is going to be the game right here. The game is all coming down to this turn cycle. I've been playing white-red mid-range in Standard. Ooh. Let me see Halfwing. Tameo. This is going to get very interesting. Chef Stitch, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you, thank you. Well, that's a interesting take on mid-range. I haven't seen too many Retriever Phoenixes. How has Retriever Phoenix been? Loot treasure. Discard, discard. One, two, three, four. Well, dispute it. Untap. Land. Untapped. Unburial Rites. Velomachus. Go attacking. Hit a time warp. Down to 13. Prismari command. Loot. And treasure. Discard Unburial Rites. Discard Velomachus. We draw dispute. Go to combat. Attack. Come on. Time warp. Time warp. Time warp. Extra turn. Faithless looting. Discard. Discard. Pass the turn. Extra turn. Combat. Velomachus. Thrilling discovery. Discard. Discard. Scholar. That's what we needed. Land. Untapped. Scholar. Ho! Ho! Out comboing the Time Warp Tribal deck. One more extra turn. Untap. Whoo! Wow. We pieced it together. Man, maybe this is better than than the other Time Warp decks. Velomachus. Wow, we are 8-2 across two different builds, but that's about to change, perhaps. We have one more Velomachus build. We are going into best of one. Phoenix has been very good. Dodging Shadow's Verdict. No, that does make sense. I'm gonna have to give that a try. I have not really just went with the value lesson plan. I've mostly played specific lessons. Has it felt good overall, the lessons? This is the deck that we're talking about, by the way. Which, it definitely looks interesting. And has a lot of new cards. Which is super sweet. I haven't tried just, I don't know. I'm playing a random mid-range deck. I'm going to play a bunch of lessons. I've mostly played Pest Summonings. Alright, last deck for Velomachus. Jankiest deck for Velomachus. This deck is all in on doing one thing, which is casting Dragon's Approaches. So yes, we do have some of the same synergies. We have some Time Warps. We have Mizzix's Mastery to go with our Velomachus. But really, what is this deck trying to do? Discard Dragon's Approaches with Cathartic Reunions, with Thrilling Discoveries, with Faithless Lootings, so we can get 4 in our graveyard, and now we can cast a Dragon's Approach, and now we can hit Velomachus, so we have used Indomitable Creativity to cheat it into play. We have used Reanimation to cheat it into play. This might be the most unique way to cheat a Velomachus into play. I don't think just casting it is going to be good enough in a format like Historic, but but cheating into play does seem pretty decent. I guess the plan is to not draw Time Warp. Yeah, the plan is mostly to discard the Time Warps. I mean, we do have Faithless Looting and a bunch of ways to churn through our deck. So, like, in this scenario, well, we can't keep this. Oh, no, the loot tree. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Tina Pack combo might be tough. That's a lot of counters. Alright, well, that's a Dragon's Approach. Velomachus to the bottom. Well, here we go. See what happens. Can we get a Dragon's Approach kill? When are the other Japanese styles coming? I want Lightning Helix Japanese art. That is a good question. I believe that they're using it for a special event, but I'm actually not as exactly sure when the event is. Control's a decent matchup? Maybe. I mean, we have to resolve a Dragon's Approach, though, right? So if our opponent can just keep countering Dragon's Approaches... How long until streams get put on the replay channel? I got distracted by Stardew Valley for most of the Reanimator. Usually about 24 hours. Usually, yeah, roughly 24 hours. Gotta get the thumbnail art made and then upload them. So probably tomorrow midday, I would guess. You know, if you actually hardcast 5 Dragon's Approaches to Velomachus, it leaves your opponent at 5 for a 1-hit kill. That is a nice little bonus. Well, Dragon's Approach. Boom. 17 opponent. We could just be dead very quickly, though, if they have pack. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you today? Radiant Scroll Reaver has been extremely good too. Splashing back Spirit Summoning or Frostbite with Lifelink is very good because you don't often play removal when you want the summoning or the summoning when you want removal. Interesting. Well, Dragon's Approach you again. That's very interesting. I haven't really considered just playing Scroll Reaver as a mid-range threat, but maybe it's actually pretty sweet. You know what's also hilarious? That if we just somehow get to 8 mana, we can just Overload Mastery and just burn our opponent with Dragon's Approaches. This is where, like, as hilarious and weird as this deck sounds... Ugh. Well, I was going to say, we're in a position where if we just draw, like, a Faithless Looting... If this had resolved, we just Faithless Looting and, like, win the game. We discard 2 Dragon's Approaches, cast a Dragon's Approach, and just win the game on the spot. So, I mean, not going to happen now because of Memory Lapse, but, yeah, Memory Lapse is the worst counter for us. Eureka moment. We know our opponent just needs Tainted Pack. Like, if they find Tainted... Oh my god, that's... Okay. Faithless Looting. Well, that's what we were talking about. Discard, discard. Dragon's Approach. Yes. Unfortunately, we drew the Time Walk this turn, which is awkward. Velomachus. Huh. Well, Dragon's Approach you. Opponents to 3. About it. Binding. Ah! But we have a Dragon's Approach! Oh, boom. Shock. Just in case. Dragon's Approach! We got him! Oh, opponent getting absolutely wrecked. By the jankiest possible way to build Velomachus. How do you live that one down? Well, I guess technically we're 9-2. I was expecting this to be the one that was hard mode, but maybe this is the best one. Maybe this is the best one and we just didn't know it. Well, we can't keep this. You know, One of the concerns with this deck, I will say, is we do only have 3 Velomachuses, and we don't have Brainstorms. So it is possible to draw all 3 and not be able to cheat them into play. Take a bad for the 8th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big Super. Oh, hopefully this isn't Rogues. Rogues is becoming a historic thing now. Yeah, oh, we're definitely playing best of 1. There is... this is a deck that I believe just cannot work in best of 3. So yeah, for this one, best of 1 is actually intentional. Well, discard. Well, we found a Dragon's Approach. Do you already have an idea for what the next modern budget deck will be? I hope it's Turgid Deathcloud. I love that deck. Ooh, well, we just played Turgid Deathcloud for... Oh, dear. Well, I guess that's not that bad. We don't mind Dragon's Approach in the graveyard. We just played it for Against the Odds. Unfortunately, my initial thought of that deck was to try to play it for Budget Magic, because I thought that Deathcloud was super cheap, but it got bought out because of Turgid. It used to be basically a bulk rare, but now Deathcloud is like $20, so a little tough to pull off for Budget Magic just because of that, but yeah, it is a really sweet deck, but I don't think we can play it for Budget Magic at this point, unfortunately. Yeah, Arcanist is really good. Faithless Looting is just such a huge upgrade for Arcanist. Well, it sounds like everyone wants to see more modern, so maybe Thursday we'll do a modern stream. We did standard, historic. Thursday, modern would be sweet. What about Legacy? I kind of want to try the Chain of Smog deck in Legacy. Opponent going to empty our hand. Yeah, this is looking bad. Haha. Hit ya. It's definitely tough if you can't get one Dragon's Approach in the graveyard with at least 1 or 2 with like a Cathartic Reunion effect. Casting 5 of them naturally is tricky. Ooh, let me see Kazu. Opponent, Crocs returns, hits us for a bunch. We draw Dragon's Approach. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we're just literally dead. Yeah, if we had been able to get a Dragon's Approach in the graveyard with Cathartic Reunion, I think we might have won that, but didn't work out that time. We were also on the mulligan. Yeah, probably something very similar to that deck. Basically, Witherbloom Apprentice and Chain of Smog. I don't know if I'll have to look around. I'm not sure if there's another build that's not Arclight Phoenix. I mean, I guess the Arclight Phoenix plan is fine too. Yeah, sad not to be able to play it for Budget Magic anymore. Some of these dank checks are really hurt by the average shuffle algorithm. Probably true. I don't play much best of 1. It takes a very specific deck to make me want to play best of 1. But Dragon's Approach, that's specific enough. So my concern would be in best of 3. Graveyard Hate gets you, counter spells get you, removal gets you. There's just like such a big list of things that kind of blow you out. Ooh, please don't draw another Velomachus. Please, 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 please. Opponent. Sulfur Falls. Faithless Looting. Alright, 2 in the graveyard. Would love to draw like a Faithless Looting. Opponent. Discard some cards. Faithless Looting. Thrilling Possibility, Cathartic Reunion, any of those would give us a very... Okay. Cathartic Reunion. Discard. That's a Dragon's Approach. Alright. Well, as long as we don't draw our lower hold next turn, I think we might be good. How do you beat the Arcanist decks? I think it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. I think the Arcanist decks are really strong, thanks to Faithless Looting. Oh yeah, we lost the last one, so it is 9-3. So I think they are really strong. At the same time, wow. All right, so opponent's gonna get a Phoenix. At the same time, Historic is in such a state of flux that I think you just kind of gotta wait and see how things shake out. At least that's kind of the attitude that I'm taking right now. Well, Dragon's Approach. Exile. Velomachus, the last one. Go to combat. Attack. Faithless Looting. Discard. Discard. Actually, maybe we better save one of those. Discard a Time Warp. Hit ya. Okay, one more turn. At what point do votes and against odds polls stop mattering? Friday noon. Yeah, usually try to let it go about roughly 48 hours. So Friday noon is a kind of the normal cutoff. Friday morning Eastern time usually. Ooh, Eminent Domain in foil? That sounds spectacular. Oh, we're gonna win this, aren't we? Go to combat. Attack you. Dragon's Approach. Opponent blocks. Yeah. Well, Mizzix's Mastery. Time Warp. Extra turn. Inspiring Vantage. Go attacking. How about a Dragon's Approach? And a hit. And a Dragon's Approach. The deck works! The deck is kind of working. It really actually is kind of working. Wow. Is Dragon's Approach potentially not fully a meme? So far, what is the best of the you can play any number cards? I don't think any of them have actually been even a little bit competitive. But this one might be the best. Like, what's the next best? I mean, I guess the good news is, if you do want to build this, like, look at the deck real quick. Other than, I mean, so I guess, Mystical Archives. Like, the deck it should be dirt cheap. It's got all commons, literally, throughout the deck. Yeah, I guess Time Warp, probably fairly a mythic. Mizzix's Mastery, a rare. They just printed it rare not that long ago. Velomachus, it should be really cheap, but I don't know. I think you could build a budget version of it, but if you're going to play a budget version, you're probably going to have to take out the Time Warps, and then I feel like without the Time Warps, the deck is a lot less explosive. Apostle, yeah. I mean, they all combo with certain cards, like the Ripple combo, but I don't think any of them actually been, like, competitive yet. And I mean, I guess probably when all is said and done, that might be true of Dragon's Approach, but this one actually feels kind of competitive to me. Like, it actually kills people a lot quicker than the other ones. Scorch Spitter. Sure. Well, play this on white. Discovery. Discard. Alright, there's some Dragon's Approaches. We have one in the graveyard so far. Two more going. Ooh, they're playing Oh, they have blue mana. Ooh, okay. That's a little frightening. Opponent hits us. Bring it, Scorch Spitter. And light up the stage. Well, Cathartic Reunion. Discard, discard. Ugh, whiff. Land. 3 in the graveyard. We're close. We're close. Opponent. You could actually pop off with Petitioners in Limited. Yeah, I mean, some of them are fine in Limited. Seems like I won't be getting Strixhaven for over a month due to how popular it is. Are you ordering on Amazon, Tanos? I was talking to one of my brothers, and I was like, hey, these collector's boosters are really good value. You should, you should consider picking some up. And I guess he ordered some on Amazon. He's not really much of a Magic player, so he just got them on Amazon because that's the place he knew. And it said that shipping was going to be like over a month. It was like in end of May or something. I guess that's the second print run. Like the rumors like floating are, oh no, we're going to just be like a turn too slow here. We just did not hit enough. Yeah, we just did not hit enough Dragon's Approaches. We hit too many lands, too many Velomachuses. Like, just to confirm. 1, 2, 3. Huh. So I think, like, mathematically, that's kind of a bummer. Because we have 20 Dragon's Approaches. 1, 2, 3. But we only had 4 in our top 22 cards. So, we just ran pretty light. Well, we don't have enough mana. We don't have enough mana to looting and then cast a Dragon's Approach. We only have 4 mana. So we play a land looting and then discard Dragon's Approach. But then we're still mana short of casting it. We're just dead on board. Amazon is cheaper than any local game stores around here. Shipping, like $20 or $30. Yeah, I was initially going to buy collector's boosters because they were such a great deal. And then the day I was going to order them, they jumped up like $30 in price. And they jumped up way in price, like to $300 on Amazon. I was like, ugh, I don't know. And then the price came back down on Amazon. But when I looked, the shipping time was just so long that I wasn't actually sure it was worth it to wait that long to get the cards. Deck is lame because it has no interaction. I mean, I guess that is true that we don't have interaction. I don't know if I agree that that makes it lame. Just got 6 regular boosters. Yeah, regular boosters are sweet too. Opponent thrilling discovery. Well, hopefully we got 3 Dragon's Approaches in our graveyard. Opponent's setting up to win next turn, potentially. Well, Faithless Looting. Whiff. So weird. So do you think we're being punished by the hand algorithm? Because I feel like we're dead. I feel like we should be hitting way more. Like mathematically, we're just not hitting Dragon's Approaches. Are they like trying to space them out through our deck? This is like the second or third game this has happened. Like this one is actually kind of absurd. To the point where we're probably going to have to pull out the calculator. I mean, we're just dead right here. Our opponent just wins if they have a land. They get Scholar, they get Emergent Ultimatum, they combo off. Because we have hit 1, 2... This is the second game in a row. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're drawing him at like 50% of the rate that we should. Opponent gets a land. Yeah, we're hitting them like half the rate that you would expect that we would. Not a Dragon's Approach. Well, as long as we hit a Dragon's Approach, that's fine. Discard, discard. Land. Dragon's Approach. Yes, we would. Well, alright, Velomachus. You gotta go all the way, because our opponent's about to win this game. Attack you. Mizzix Mastery, a Time Warp. Extra turn. Hit ya. Go to combat. Attack. Oh no! Dragon's Approach. Oh, there it is, but too late. Oh dear. Well, yeah. So close. 5, 6, 7. Wait, 8. Huh. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, now our opponent combos off. Our way of winning was to hit... So we could Cathartic Reunion into Mizzix Mastery to take an extra turn, but we just didn't get it in time. And yeah, so now this is just game. Our opponent gets Omniscience. So they're guaranteed to get Omniscience with this pile, basically. So Final Parting can put Omniscience in the graveyard. Or can put a way to clone Scholar of Lost Troves in the graveyard. Or another Emergent Ultimatum. Scholar of Lost Troves, Emergent Ultimatum, do it again. Ugh. Yeah. Emergent Ultimatum number 2. Thoughts on playing the deck on Moto if Arena is giving you a hard time? I guess it depends on the deck. What deck is giving you a hard time, Vaccinated Pethagon? I guess it also depends on... Yeah, I mean, that's not gonna work. Tijuana Joe, yeah, our opponent's deck, if you don't have Graveyard Hate, it can win really quickly. If you do have Graveyard Interaction, it does not do anything. It's kind of hilariously bad against any sort of interaction. So I think, like, switching to Moto to play decks that don't work well on Arena makes sense. One issue could be cost. Because you're going to have to access the deck on Magic Online, get a loan program, or buy the cards or something. So that's something to keep in mind. But for something like Tainted Pact, pretty easy to do on Magic Online, or Titan's Nest, cards like that, those work very well on Magic Online. Unclear why they don't work well on Arena to me. I've never really understood it, because it seems like they should be super easy. Like, all you gotta do is not have an animation, essentially. Like, if they don't have an animation, wouldn't those cards just work fine? But yeah, channel point options are something that we've been talking about for a while, but really actually finally needs to happen. Opponent, gonna take, should be Cathartic Reunion. And then I guess we start casting Dragon Approaches. Hopefully they take Dragon's Approach. That would be excellent. Why is looting a rare on Arena? Wizard gotta get that money. They need to find a way to separate all of us from our hard-earned dollars. And having to spend a bunch of money to get commons, I guess. I guess is one of the solutions. But yeah, I don't think there's any real reason outside of that, like that I can think of at least. I can't think of any. Well, now we're drawing all of our Dragon's approaches, which is nice. I can't think of any actual reason for it. How about when there's a mix of decks Seth might play, people might play towards a pole? That's actually a sweet idea. That's actually a very cool idea, Tanos. That could be a good option. Ideally, I think we need to have like hopefully multiple things that people could do with them. Well, here comes Velomachus. Smack ya. Well, thrilling discovery. Discard some Dragon's approaches. Play a land. Opponent's down to 10. Can they kill the Velomachus? Angelic Gift. Okay, they're going to try to block Velomachus? Yeah. And Rune of Sustenance. Oh no! Are they actually going to get there with this? Goes it? Oh dear, opponent. Okay. Well, thrilling discovery. Discard, discard. Oh, we gotta hit it now. We have so many hits in our deck. Oh my goodness, we did not. Well, Dragon's approach, I guess. How do we miss there? How is it possible that we missed there? Oh! Wow. We have so many Time Warps and Mystic's Masteries in our deck to hit. It's kind of mind-blowing that we didn't. I didn't think it was possible. And now our opponent's going to win because they have Vigilance. Huh. Interesting. Mystical Archives are like sort of duplicate protected. You still get the reprints, but the banned ones. Yeah, I mean that does it. Huh. Wow. There's been some very just strange math going on with this deck. Hence the silly deck with no interaction. I mean, I think though mathematically we should have just won. So I feel like I don't think it's a matter of interaction. I think it's I mean, I guess that's how math works. I mean, maybe if there were like 2 destroy target permanent cards in the deck. I mean, you could. Or just... Huh. Or the other option is just not to whiff on Time Walks. Hey, what's up, Solani? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. I don't think pacifism would be very good. I think if you're gonna add... if you're gonna add interaction, you probably want it to be interaction that you can hit with Velomachus. I'm not sure what that would be, though. Like, what is there... what is there in these colors? that would be a good option. Well, discard Dragon's Approaches, pass the turn. Yeah, Chaos Warp could work. Play 4 Deafening Clarion. Tenth District Legionnaire. Well, discard. What are you cutting to put in interaction? Pretty sure the answer is not Divine Gambit. There are many possible answers. Divine Gambit is not. That gives your opponent a blocker. Yeah, I mean this is turn 3 Velomachus, which is good. Assuming we don't just fizzle. Well, alright, here comes Velomachus. Hit ya. Velomachus. Attack. Opponent, there's no 1 mana 5 damage spell, so accept your fate, accept the attack. No, I guess they're playing Reckless Rage, I think. I guess there is Lightning Axe. I can't imagine they're playing it, but alright, opponent. We attack. Come on, Time Warp. Not Time Warp. Well, I guess we Dragon's Approach. I guess we used all of our good Velomachus hits playing best of 3. Opponent goes to 9, untaps. Red Horde Arcanist. Opponent passes. Wow, if our opponent's not doing anything, there's no way. There's no way our Dragon's that bad. Alright, Time Warp, thank goodness. We may fizzle once, but we will not fizzle every time. Untap. Ooh, draw the Time Warp. That's fine. Attack you. Kill you. Dragon's Approach to send a message. I mean, the deck really does kind of work. Storm's Wrath wouldn't be bad with Velomachus. Yeah, I mean, Storm's Wrath is fine. It's good against aggro. I guess the question is... I guess the question, yeah. So if we look at the deck, so there's 20 Dragon's Approaches. There's 6 cards to work with Velomachus. And then there's 12 cards that let you draw and discard with 18 lands. So the question that comes down to it is like, what could you... What are you cutting to... What are you cutting? Like, that's always the question. Like, interaction could be good, but Mastery seems pretty bad. I mean, Mastery is a Time Warp after you have found a Time Warp, basically. After you have looted or Velomachus to Time Warp, then Mizzix Mastery is additional Time Warps. So I think the other concern is, like, if you take out this stuff, so you could take out Mizzix Masteries and Time Warps and just be like a standard version of this deck. The problem is, then your Velomachuses don't win the game. Then you, like, play Velomachus, you attack, but then your opponent untaps and they kill it, and then you're like, oh, I don't know, like, maybe, was it worth it to do all of that? You can... Pitlord Grant, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So you have that. You don't really need basics. I mean, sure, the pathways are fine. Like, I don't think it... Yeah, playing some blue pathways are. I mean, that's a fine option. I don't think you're going to be casting Time Warp hardly ever, but it's pretty free rolly, so why not? So that makes sense. You might as well play a couple pathways. Maybe a game happens eventually where you actually end up casting a time walk. Um, but yeah, so I mean the deck it works. It's definitely glass cannony. I'm not sure how you can make it. I'm not sure how you can make it less glass cannony. If you saw the games earlier where we just didn't find dragons approaches. So if you cut too many dragons approaches, then the whole thing falls apart. If you cut the looting effects, you don't find the dragons approaches. If you cut the time warp stuff, then Velomachus isn't enough to actually win the game. So it's a very weird mixture. I don't think I'd want to play the Triome because I think every land has to come into play untapped. I think the worst feeling is going to be, okay, we're only playing 18 lands. I have a Dragon's Approach that is going to get me Velomachus and win the game, and I top deck a Triome or something. So I would be skeptical of playing tap lands. Chandra to hardcast Velomachus. Chandra is sweet. But again, it comes back to, like, what do you cut? Like, that's the main question. There's a lot of cards that I think would be fine additions, like sweepers, other interactive spells, Chandra. There's a lot of cards that I think would be fine additions. The challenge is what do you cut to find room for those cards that doesn't take away from the actual like main game plan of the deck. I think you have to have 3 Velomachuses because the risk is that you draw them before your dragons approach. If you only play 2 Velomachuses, then you run the risk of you cast your first like faithless looting, you hit 2 Velomachuses because they're both in the top 15 cards of your deck or something, and you basically just lose on the spot because there's no way out at that point. I guess you could like cut Velomachuses and also I guess an interesting option would be to add Unburial Rites is another way to get Velomachus into play. Then you'd have Dragon's Approach, ways to discard Velomachus, and also Unburial Rites to reanimate it. So that could be kind of an interesting idea. Hey, what's up, General Chow? How are you? But yeah, I mean, I think the deck's sweet. If you want to build it in standard, I think someone on Channel Fireball made a standard budget version of the deck with, clunky budget mana, but otherwise, you can build a version of this deck pretty inexpensively in standard. In historic, it's rough because, Wizards price gouging us a little bit with the mystical archives, but it's still a pretty sweet archetype. So, brainstorm to put them back in the deck. Yeah. I mean, brainstorm would be okay. I don't know if I want to actually have blue mana. Then you'd have to actually like be a full-on Jeskai deck. And then you're back to the like, what do you cut thing again. That's always like the circular thing. So if you decide to try to upgrade the deck, I think I'm pretty fine with the version as it is. I mean, I could see an argument of going down like a Mizzix Mastery, because you do need to hit the time walk first. Like maybe you go 6 total payoffs, and then you have 1 slot to play a sweeper or interactive spell or something. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with where it ended up for being like a funny, fun meme deck. I will also say I would not try to play it in best of 3. I think in best of 3, it's going to go really poorly. Like, I never play best of 1, and this is a deck that we just played in best of 1 because I think that it's so glass cannony that if your opponent can bring in their graveyard hate, or if your opponent can bring in their instant speed removal spells, then it's going to be really, really difficult to win. So I would not recommend, even though I put a sideboard in the deck. Oh, another card that I think is really hilarious, although probably not good enough, is Fervent Mastery. Fervent Mastery, you can hit it off Velomachus, and this might be worth considering for a standard. You can hit it off Velomachus, and then you can triple gamble. The thing is, you're probably gambling for Dragon's Approaches, and you don't really care if they're discarded or not. Or you could add in, like, Unburial Rites. Add in Unburial Rites, a copy of Unburial Rites, and be able to tutor, like, Dragon's Approach, Dragon or Scholar, and also Unburial Rites or something. And then kind of no matter what happens, you're going to win with the Fervent Mastery. It was another card that I was really tempted to try to figure out how to put it in the main deck, but I kept running into that same problem we were just talking about of just like, where's the room? What can I cut to make room for more of these cards? But I do think that Fervent Mastery is like oddly perfect for this deck. Niv Mizzet. I mean, that's another possibility, is to add in more dragons. The thing is, it's hard for me to imagine ever not getting Velomachus. Like, maybe if there was a dragon that could beat your opponent, like leaving up mana, I guess that would be the weakness of Velomachus, is your opponent leaves up a Doomblade and they can just kill the Velomachus before it attacks and you don't get any value. So maybe if there was a dragon that solved that, but I think that's kind of the hard part with adding other dragons, is Velomachus is just so insane with extra turn spells, as we've seen through all of our games today. Like, I don't know. I feel like you add in Niv Mizzet, but I feel like you're still going to get Velomachus like 99% of the time, because it's just so incredibly explosive with a deck like that. But it would be fun to like... It would be fun to just like play all the Elder Dragons or throw in Nicol Bolas's and just kind of play a whole bunch of them, just kind of as a meme, almost like the God deck where you play all the gods and you play World Tree and just like do it for fun. So like something like that would be sweet. Probably not Arcades. Arcades seems pretty bad. So you definitely could throw in and do like a dragon toolbox with the same package. Maybe you cut the Mizzix Masteries, go down to like 1 or 2 Velomachuses, and then you have like 5 slots where you can just throw in your 5 favorite dragons. I think Velomachus is the best dragon, but you could do that for fun. It would be spicy and interesting. So, cool. On that note, though, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. However, I think we learned a big thing, and we learned the Velomachus. It was worth waiting 400 packs. It was worth the wait. It actually ended up being pretty insanely busted. Like, we had a really good record in best of 3. We even did good with Dragon's Approach that was actually, like, kind of competitive too, which was really weird. So yeah. I mean, Velomachus, it's a really powerful card, and it'll be interesting to see if it can make waves in Standard. I think, add to your homework list. If you come up with a sweet Standard version, send it to me, because I have not cracked the code of making it work in Standard. So if you come up with some sweet ideas, like what's the best thing to hit with Velomachus in Standard? Is there anything we can do to play something similar to these Velomachus decks, but do it in Standard? Send me an email, send me it on Twitter, because I would really love to make a Standard version work. Just haven't quite figured it out yet. But on that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for tonight. So next stream, 48 hours from now, Thursday, 6 o'clock Eastern. In the meantime, you can check out Against the Odds Budget Magic on the YouTube channel. Replay YouTube if you missed any of the stream. And one more reminder that our sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom. And maybe you need some Magic cards from Strixhaven, from other places. Well, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes and they will hook you up. So thank you so much to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Alward's Epiphany. So the thing to keep in mind as you're working on Standard Velomachus, it only hits things with mana value equal or less to its power. So basically, unless you find a way to pump it, it only hits 5 mana value cards and less. So Aaron's Epiphany, 7 mana. Ultimatum, 7 mana. In theory, you could build a Velomachus deck where you're playing Anthems or something to try to get it up to like 7 power, and then you would open up the possibility of Epiphanies and Ultimatums. But by itself without support, only hits things that are up to 5 mana. So most importantly, thank you to all of you. You all are amazing and awesome, and thanks so much for hanging out, having some fun with Velomachus. So have a great night. Have an amazing Wednesday. I love you all, and yeah, see you on Thursday. Until then, have a great night, everyone, and I will talk to you soon.